Hello, and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. On behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you joined us for the Clean Energy and Renewables Conference. The next presentation is from P2 Solar. Please note you may submit questions for the presenter in the box to the left of the slides, and you can also view a company's availability for one-on-one meetings by clicking Book a Meeting. At this point, I'm very pleased to welcome Raj Grum. He's the President, Chief Executive Officer, and Director of P2 Solar, which trades on the OTCID market under the symbol PTOS. Welcome back, Raj.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us this morning. I'm happy to be here today, and P2 Solar has been in business for a long time. But we're using today as a relaunch of the company. Company was dormant for a while, and I've worked through it, and it's fully functional now. It's trading on the OTCID, and we are as of today we are relaunching the company. And so I'm very happy to present to you the new P2 business plan. Before I get started, I just wanted to say that P2 is embarking on a very ambitious project in that we're trying to create a situation where you can. The biggest problem right now that we have is the carbon and the greenhouse gases, and it's threatening our planet. There are countries that are working very hard to mitigate this problem. There are countries that don't care. There are countries that can't do anything because of their financial constraints. P2 is trying to create a situation where it be economical, and the carbon, we can continue to drive our big cars, gas, whatever we can, any carbon dioxide that is put into the atmosphere can be brought back down and then reused for different purposes. Basically, we'll go through it here. We'll go through all the issues, and I'll try to explain what I just said. Anyways, so let's start with the problem itself. Like we've touched on it. It's climate change. Global CO2 emissions are at record highs, and I said just a few minutes ago, a few seconds ago, that there are countries that are trying very hard to mitigate this problem. There are countries that don't care. There are countries that can't afford to do anything. There are solutions available right now. There's very slow adoption to it for them. Reasons being that most of the solutions for carbon mitigation are very, very expensive. It costs a lot of money to pull carbon out of the atmosphere, and they're very and not yet scalable. So what we're proposing here is that we come up with a solution that is that's feasible, economical, and scalable. So P2 is using a two-track strategy. First of all, we in the last few years we have done quite a few projects, rooftop solar projects. Basically, it's a fairly simple business. We install rooftop solar on residential, commercial properties, and people can help the environment as well as save some money. So we offer turnkey uh, option for that. And what this does for us is that it it reduces the carbon emissions, but it also gives us a cash flow that we can uh, uh, use to create the bioreactor. And the bioreactor that we're talking about, we're using the engineered bacteria that basically lives on carbon dioxide. Uh, it it pulls the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and that's what it lives on. We few months ago we started the process on it. We have we're not actively doing the R&D at this moment, but we've got all the components that are necessary. We've all done all the work that's needed to get started. So the market itself is very large. We all know that how big of a problem uh, climate change is. Uh, First of all, for our track one, the distributed solar power, that market is growing uh, up to 12% compounded annual growth rate through 2030. And the carbon removal market will exceed over $100 billion annually. And the government incentives are there, especially here in Canada. Government is supporting the R&D for any carbon mitigation technology, and we'll get into that a little bit more moving forward. And carbon carbon credit. By 2030, we expect that carbon credit pricing to be around $170 per ton. And we'll shortly here we'll talk about how that fits into our business model. So the business model, solar EPC installation projects, it generates immediate flow. I mean, I'm not going to spend too much time on that. That's pretty self-explanatory. And as far as the bioreactor is concerned, that's that's what we're looking at. So within the next 12 months, uh, what we plan on, our goal is to create a demonstrator, a small desktop bioreactor that proves the concept. And then the following 12 to 24 months, we plan on doing a prototype, working with one of the uh, industry people, companies, where we will install the prototype there and show how it can work and how it can be scaled up. And so we feel that this balanced approach is the ideal way to go, because that way we don't have to raise a lot of money. We have cash flow coming in that will supplement our research and development. So technology, well, as far as the rooftop and ground mount installations are concerned, the technology is pretty mature. There's panels available, and it's not any earth-shattering new technology. It's been around for a while, and these days the prices have come down considerably, um, and it's become feasible. Even where I am in Vancouver area, where we get a lot of rain and not as much sun as the other areas, it's become feasible here as well. As far as the biotech bioreactor is concerned, as I've said, we've just started the R&D on it, and the way it works is that we have that bacteria uh, in nature that intake carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and use it for its own. Well, it lives off of it, and the and it produces byproducts. It produces some fuels. Um, it produces other chemicals that are needed in the industry. So for us to our business model and the technology, what it would do is it would give us a number of different uh, uh, ways of monetizing the system. So, for example, carbon credits, and then the byproducts can be sold, and the bioreactor can be licensed. And the best part of it is that uh, because it's a biological system, once created and perfected, it will be very economical and scalable. And so the biggest issue today of the carbon mitigation technology being very expensive, very labor intensive, time consuming, all those issues uh, will be taken care of. So again, I think we've touched on most of this already. We we'll use the solar EPC system to create immediate cash for the company. We'll start with the regional growth in BC and extend into rest of the country and beyond if within in some time. We'll go from BC to Alberta to Saskatchewan, just move east and until we cover the entire country. And so the R&D prototype, it'll be validated within the next 12 months, or hopefully within 2026. And licensing commercialization uh, can begin after that. Our team. I think I've been introduced. My full name is Raj Mohinder Gurum, and I'm the founder and the president of the company. I've been in business since 1985, and Hans Edblad is our business development and as well as a director in our company, and he has business development experience of 25 years plus. And Sham is the third director, and he's a big entrepreneur in the clean tech industry, and he in his core believes in clean tech, and that's where he's spent most of his career. He's actually an electrical engineer uh, by education, and we are looking to hire uh, a team, a R&D team. The people have been identified, and we're just in the process of uh, getting an office. We are going to take over an office on April 1st, and these people will be brought in at that time. As you'll find out here in a couple of minutes, we are working on a financing which will be closed before the end of this month. And so the whole system will proceed. As far as our company's experience is concerned, we have done roughly 30 installations of solar, both commercial and residential, and ground mount as well as the rooftop. I think we have put together all the systems, ironed out all the bugs, and we're ready to go. And the marketing program has already started, and we expect to do anywhere from 30 to 40 projects in 2026. And it will generate a fair amount of revenue. We'll get into the details of that here in a couple of minutes. We launched as I said, launched our carbon capture technology R&D program back in October, November of 2025. And so far, we've been in the organizing stage and getting everything together. And as I've mentioned before, we'll have R&D team together and working starting April 1st. And we've also have started the process. We're working with IRAP. That's the one of the government agencies that finances R&D in various clean tech energy, clean tech uh, uh, field, and they have already assigned a advisor to us, and we're moving through the process with them to help us fund a lot of the R&D. And as far as I've said before, the company was dormant for a while, but we brought everything up to date. The company is fully functional, and it's trading on the OTCID. And our goal is to, by this time next year, to have it trading on one of the senior exchanges. Revenue. With the amount of projects that we are hoping to do in the next 12 months, we expect to do a revenue of 2.2 million in this year, and that revenue will go up to 5.5 million by 2030. Licensing revenue for carbon capture technologies begins in 2028, and the profit turns positive in 27. And the R&D, as I've mentioned before, will be a mix of grants and equity financing. And we will now go through the details of that after we talk about competitive landscape. Well, competitors, as far as the solar installation is concerned, there's a lot of small companies that have gotten involved. I didn't list anybody here locally, but the Canadian Solar, Sunrun, Tesla, SunPower, and Phase. Some of these are suppliers, the others are actual installers, and some do both. But not too many of them are involved in small scale projects that we are. But like I said, there are competition here locally where there are smaller companies that are doing what we are doing as well. But there's so much business out there that I don't think that's going to cause any issues for P2. It's and then carbon capture technology. There are companies that are working on mitigation technologies, but very few or very small scale companies, smaller companies, are working with the with bacteria, microbial CO2 capture technology. So we are placed in a very opportune time and in an opportune place at this time where we will, if we work diligently, we will take over. We could take the lead in this field. Like I said, I've done extensive research. There's very few companies, and there is risk factors. There's always risks with everything. We've tried to mitigate risks as much as we can. Like I said, I've been saying this before. Like we've got government agencies working with us to help fund without dilution of the company. We've got revenue. We will have revenue coming in through our installations. So, and then we will hire. We have a very experienced business team, and we will hire a very experienced R&D team. As I've said before, we've identified most of the team, and and we'll try to, as we go along, we try to mitigate as many risks as we possibly can. But in business, there's always risks. Funding. We estimate that we will require approximately $2 million funding in the next 3 years. But current funding round is $200,000. And we're working on that, and we expect to close this funding by the end of this month. And so use of fund, 50% will be going to the R&D, lab equipment, staffing, and 30% for Futuricity. Futuricity is our subsidiary that installs solar. And so it will be 30% of it will be used for its scale up, mainly marketing, and 20% for operations and working capital. And so basically, we feel that the 200,000 will seed capital will kickstart the R&D and business expansion, and additional funding rounds will be planned to reach 2 million total target. We feel that once we get to a proof of concept desktop reactor, I think we can bring in at that point much institutional funding. Right now, this 200,000 is basically being raised through individual investors. Okay, so just an overall picture is that we're going to raise $200,000, and we're going to set up a lab, and we're going to hire one main scientist and then a few junior scientists to work under him. And we're going to use the government IRAP and SHRED tax credits. So how it's going to work is that IRAP will fund 50% of the lab, and it will fund 80% of the salaries of all the R&D people. So whatever, let's say if I'm taking out a salary, whatever part time that I spend on the R&D part will 80% of that will also be covered. And SHRED is a tax credit, which is 15 to 30% of whatever you spend on R&D. So basically what happens is that between the IRAP and SHRED, we can cover 90 to 95% of the R&D. And so with 200K raised, we can leverage that 200K and get to actually end up doing about $500,000, $600,000, worth of R&D, which I believe is more than enough to get to the proof of concept stage. And so that is the strategy moving forward as to how we see this whole project being funded. And we will have to raise more money, probably another tranche of $200,000 to $300,000 before this is all said and done, and we will probably have to raise a much larger funding when we start doing the prototype. So exit strategies. Well, company is publicly traded, and if everything goes well, by this time next year, we'll also be on a senior exchange, and so it can be easily liquidity will be there for any investor, and you know there's other things that can happen. There could be a merger, reverse mergers, or somebody could acquire us, or we've talked about uplisting on a major exchange, and so there's a number of pathways for investors to exit. Okay, so finally, in closing, I'd just our mission is, I've already mentioned it, that we're looking at a world where every rooftop produces green energy and every ton of carbon is turned into reusable resources. So whatever we produce as humanity, um, we don't want to leave it in the atmosphere. We want to bring it back down, turn it into reusable uh, uh, resources, and monetize it. So it best of both worlds if P2 is successful in its endeavors. Um, that way, um, you know, we feel that we will get support from all corners of the world because even the oil companies or any emitter will be able to use our technology um, to collect carbon dioxide, either same amount that they put out or more, whatever they feel. And so we're hoping that all of you will come and support us, and we can create a better world. And I'm open for questions. If there's any questions, please ask. And if you need, I know I went through it fairly fast and fairly um, quickly here. But if you have any questions, you can set up a one-on-one meeting with us, and I think, and I'll be more than happy to discuss more details with you. And so if right, so far I don't have any questions, and we've got 3 minutes left. And if any questions, I'm happy to help answer them right now, or else please set up a one-on-one meeting with
And
me.
Raj, feel free to check out the inbox. I do see a couple questions in there if you want to address them now, or you can follow up with them after the webinar.
Where is it? I don't see them anywhere.
That's okay. Do you see the Q&A box?
No.
Okay, it might be on the right-hand side underneath the team chat.
No, it's blank. That's,
okay, then you might have to click the word inbox. Otherwise, I can read them out loud for you, but I don't want to read ones that aren't applicable. One thing we could do too is just wrap up, and then you can follow up with these questions after the webinar.
Yes, I will do that, because unfortunately I can't see them. I will definitely follow up with these questions.
All right, thank you so much, Raj, and thank you, audience. We will follow up with you after.
All right, thank you.